Hi, everyone. We all trust in print automation. That's why we're all here today. The automation of layouted publications is already changing our world as we speak. Just think of all the documents that each of us creates on a daily basis. How about we go a step further and automate data sheets, catalogs, and manuals directly from the PIM system without any errors? Together, we will uncover the profound impact of using InBetween, not only as a software solution, but as a catalyst for shaping the future of digital publishing. I'm Lale Gumari Luksh, project manager in InBetween and your moderator for this webinar. If you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to ask them in the chat. We will then answer them in a Q&A session at the very end. And by the way, we are recording this webinar and it will be made available on our website. So today I have with me Thomas Kuhner, marketing manager at Somfy, and Peter Flory, sales director at InBetween. Thomas, please introduce yourself and tell us more about Somfy. What does Somfy do and what is your mission at Somfy?
Sure. First of all, let me say hello to everyone joining us today. My name is Thomas Kuhner. I'm a marketing manager for Somfy with a focus on product communication. And Somfy is an industry leader for motors and controls around windows, doors, and gates. For example, the classic case of a radio motor for roller shutters or awnings, and also smart home applications. Basically everything to help our customers improve their living, to live comfortably, their security in their home, and to improve their energy savings.
Thank you. Peter, can you give us a brief overview of InBetween?
Yes, thank you, Lale. Hi, everybody. My name is Peter. Some of you might know me. I'm sales director at InBetween. And my part is a little bit to talk about InBetween. And as you might know, we are a provider of a comprehensive digital publishing solution. And we help companies to deliver professional product and brand experiences to their customers. And we deal with companies worldwide. In order to achieve this, our customers use our digital publishing software to create sales folders, data sheets, price lists, flyers, leaflets, and catalogs. And in order to do this, they use the key feature of automation, print automation, to reduce manual effort to a minimum. So hopefully the result of using InBetween, of using print automation, is therefore more efficiency when you produce your print publications, higher quality, and of course, time and cost savings on a large scale.
Thanks. So, Thomas, what motivated Somfy to automate your print channel and choose InBetween?
Well, a couple of years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, we had a look at our catalog process, and yeah, we're in Somfy Germany. We're responsible for the catalogs in Germany, but not only there, also Austria and Switzerland. For Switzerland, we have 2 languages, German and French, and we have different sales channels. And we found out, or our research had the result that ideally we need 15 catalogs for all of these customers, and we wanted to update them twice per year. But at that time, the process of creating these catalogs was entirely manual. So we had a graphic designer who was basically working around the clock, producing these catalogs, but she was only able to update 1 catalog per month, approximately. So we looked for a solution to have the chance to really achieve our goal of 15 catalogs. Of course, we could have said we'll hire more graphic designers, but that would have been very expensive. And so we had the idea to automate our catalogs, and we did some research on the internet, and we found InBetween. And yeah, we made contact with the InBetween guys, and yeah, the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for choosing us. So what factor influenced this decision the most, actually?
Well, in our research, we had the impression that that the solution InBetween provides is a really powerful one, and we also saw that there are similar companies that InBetween had worked with, and there were interesting success stories. And when we talked to the representatives of InBetween, we had a good impression that the goals we were trying to achieve, mainly optimizing our processes and being more efficient, that we have had a good chance to reach these goals. And also what was important for us was that we have a cloud solution, and that we are able to work independently. And the biggest issue was that at that point we didn't have a database to work with. We had a PIM database. We had that, but it wasn't to the level where we could use it to generate catalogs. So we discussed what would be the best way, and with the guys from InBetween, they recommended us using an Excel database, and that was really interesting to us. And so all the questions we had were basically answered at that point, and we also had a good feeling on a personal level working with InBetween, and that's of course very important as well if you start a big project.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you spoke about goals. Now let's speak of goals. How does this fit in with Somfy's corporate strategy?
It fits in very well, actually. We are considering ourselves to be a very innovative company, and automation and digitalization is very high on our list, and so that's a given. And of course, we want to satisfy our customers, and these catalogs are a tool to provide them with high quality information at the right time, and yeah, it's a big part of our marketing efforts. So it's really important to have a good solution here.
Mm-hmm. Well, can you tell us, how was it like before you implemented InBetween as a solution? What challenges and problems did you face?
Yeah, I already talked a little bit about it. Our graphic designer, before we had the automation solution, was really working around the clock, and she created all the catalogs manually. It took her 1 month to complete one update. She's working in InDesign and with PDF files, and all the updates and changes had to be made manually. Also, the different product pages had to be assembled manually for all the different catalogs. So there was much copy and pasting at that time, with all the possible mistakes that happen in this process. And also, we had no database at that point. We couldn't, like I said, we couldn't use the PIM database. So we basically had to build everything from scratch.
Mm-hmm. Peter, from your experience, does the starting position at Somfy also coincide with that of other customers?
Yes, of course. It's quite interesting. There are quite a lot of companies still producing publications such as catalogs manually. So many companies are faced with the challenge of making the creation of catalogs and other collaterals, advertising materials such as data sheets, price lists, or brochures much more efficient. In contrast to Somfy, in many cases, some central database for product information is not available and must first be set up. So Somfy's already done a step. They've done the first step, collating all the data in Excel. A lot of companies don't even have that. However, using Excel as the basis for InBetween is a very good first step, because the flexibility of InBetween also allows the use of Excel-based database as a first step in a digitization strategy in order to achieve initial efficiency gains in relatively short term. In principle, an initial project on Excel for the central management of product data can be used excellently to gain experience with a possible product model in order to formulate requirements for a future PIM system.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's come back to the present. What does your publishing process look like with InBetween, Thomas? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure. It all starts with the database in Microsoft Excel, and for our catalogs, I prepare the data for each catalog basically, and then there's an XML data file that's generated, and our graphic designer uses a plugin from InBetween within InDesign to upload all the data. Also, we have the pictures for the catalog stored centrally. They are all also integrated within this process. And yeah, basically at the touch of a button, the catalog is produced within InDesign. And all our graphic designer has to do is then begin with the finishing touches around these product pages. So it's really streamlined and rather easy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you quickly share with us how you are organized internally? I mean, do you have a central data team?
Well, we have to distinguish a little bit between our headquarters in France. There are, of course, a lot of colleagues there working on data and also on the PIM database in our at Somfy Germany. It's basically me and the graphic designer, just the two of us, creating all these catalogs. Like I said, it's my job to keep the Excel database up to date and put all the changes in there, and then the graphic designer takes care of the rest.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what successes has Somfy achieved so far with InBetween?
Well, I think the biggest success is, of course, time to market. We improved time to market in a big way. I already talked about it in the past, maybe one catalog per month. Now we have 15 catalogs twice a year in 2 months. So that's a really big step, and we are happy that we can always be on time with this solution. We have consistent data. The copy and paste process is more or less gone, so we avoid many mistakes, and we have more time to focus on new things and to be innovative and take new steps. And our graphic designer is also happy because she can focus on her job, on her real job, which is to create nice things and not worry about copy and pasting. So
of course, of course.
That's a big thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, she has more time for creativity. So
Yes.
that's great. That's great. Peter, how do other customers do it? Do you know? Could you tell us about it?
Well, the experience of Somfy is a very good example. This is quite typical. So the gains in efficiency, quality, and time to market experienced by Somfy, this is something we hear from a lot of customers, from small customers, but at the same time from rather big companies. We have another customer in France, Arkema. They saved thousands of hours working for data sheets, for instance, and apparently saved more than $1 million, euros. So this is quite typical. The main point is once you have a central database, a central management of your product data, whether it's in Excel, even better in a PIM system, you have a whole number of advantages. So you can produce collaterals, advertising materials such as product data sheets, catalogs, and so on automatically. And automation has a lot of aspects. So the individual layouts of the products on the page are being generated automatically. So from a template, we can produce the product layout in an automated way. We can automate the positioning, the placement of products on pages, but also the production of entire sets of pages, including editorial pages. So we can provide full chapters or a full catalog depending on how we do the automation. So we might produce 1,000 pages of catalogs in 5 or 6 different languages straight to PDF. Obviously, we can automate the generation of components such as table of contents or indices. This makes the overall print publishing workflow much faster and more efficient, and manual effort is greatly reduced. There are, of course, other aspects. Using a solution like this, you can increase the quality of product data, you can increase the compliance with corporate design by all parties involved, you can increase the transparency of the full publication process. Speaking of quality of product data, using InBetween, you can generate a quick PDF, or you can view your publication online in your browser, and you can check the product data visually for completeness and correctness. So it's quite easy to say, I've added 50 products. Now let me produce those products in my typical catalog design. This gives me a visual check of, is everything there? Are all the attributes filled? Are the translations correct? And so on. And if anything is amiss, I go back to the PIM system and do my corrections. And in fact, using a product information management system over Excel is a truly revolutionary step. And yes, majority of our customers work with a product information system. We work with a whole number of partners. But the important message here is, if your product data is only available in Excel today, this is by no means a showstopper. It works wonderfully for Somfy, and it might work for you.
Thanks. Now, let's look into the future. What are Somfy's next steps, Thomas?
Well, coincidentally, some of the things that Peter just mentioned, we're still producing manually the table of contents of our catalogs and the indices. And we already arranged with our InBetween contact persons that we will start at the beginning of next year to automate them as well. So this will optimize our process even further, and I think we'll be able to save much time with that additional step. And we also want to be able to create additional templates for catalog pages, pages ourselves, and there will be a training for our graphic designer, so she'll be able to do that. And in the midterm, maybe in 1 to 2 years, when we feel confident about our PIM data, we'll of course also take the next step and create catalogs from a PIM base, and also product data sheets for our sales force. So these are some of the next steps, and I think again this will improve our process even further and save us more time.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what key takeaways can you share with us?
Well, apart that from the fact that we are really happy about the experience so far, I think we achieved everything we have planned so far. We were able to increase time to market in a big way, and make our customers happier. So this has been a really good experience, and I also would like to thank the InBetween team for helping us along the way, because, like I said, we started from scratch, and I think we have come a really long way. I think for everyone considering a process or starting this process like we did, it's important to know that, of course, there has some work to be done. From my experience, there needs to be someone responsible, and really he or she has to have the time to manage this project. It's an investment of time and money, but from our point of view, it's really worth it. And I think it's definitely something for companies who are in a similar situation to consider. It's really worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Thomas, thank you very much. So you're talking about investment of time and money. When you look at the time frame, how long did your project start? How long did your project last from the start when you talked to us and we did some workshops with you? So what time did you take to get your print publishing up and running for your catalogs?
I think it was around 8 months. So I'm not sure if that's a usual frame of time, or if we took some, if our process took longer than for other companies. But like I said, of course, it was a special case for us because we really didn't have a database to start with. But from beginning to the first catalog that we published in an automated way was 8 months.
So at the beginning of the 8 months, you structured the Excel, all the different columns for your products, and once that was done, the actual print publishing project started, right? Yeah. Well, obviously, how quickly customers can go into production with InBetween is really something that depends on a whole number of factors. Typically, what we find, and well, that was the same in your case, the quality of the data in whatever the system is being used, the quality of the data in a PIM system is very often a key issue. So what we do with customers, we do a concept phase, we look at the layouts, we look at the data structures, we look at completeness of data, and quite often, there is still quite a bit to be done before we can actually start with templating. But assuming data quality is right, you can get a simple datasheet production up and running in maybe 2 to 3 months. Catalogs do typically take a little bit longer. A simple catalog might take maybe 3 to 5 months, and complex multilingual catalogs might take between 6 or 9 months, really depending on a lot of factors, and a whole number of factors we cannot really control because we're dependent on availability of the people on our customer side. So there's a whole number of things that might impact the time to run a project.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Peter, now we've heard a lot about the in-between as a solution. Can you elaborate more on that?
Of course. As we've seen, InBetween is a print publishing software that really automates the production of publications and really helps our customers to publish more efficiently and with higher quality. So typically we connect to some data source, may be Excel, maybe PIN. In some cases, we connect to ERP systems or even to content management systems, but that is a rare case now. Typically, we connect to product information management systems, and this is really how it works. We take the data, we do some templating, we do some automation, and pretty quickly we can produce any of the formats. And Somfy uses the perfect in-between components for their use case, namely in the form of our InDesign plugin with a connector to the Excel data through our server. But in fact, in-between can be used to map any kind of customer requirement or use case for the automation of print publications. Depending on the design of the publication process, various modular components can be used with in-between for every need. So in this slide, we see Publication Wizard. This is an online solution for product managers, for marketing colleagues, for category managers, and so on. And this is really a solution to help all colleagues of your team who do not work with InDesign to help with the planning and building of publications. So this is a very simple online environment to automatically produce something like a catalog. You can use this user interface to review and approve the pages as part of your team, but you can also use Publication Wizard to plan and build publications from scratch, from A to Z. Whether you do finishing in InDesign after you've done this in the online environment, this is really depending on the individual customer or use case. So what you can see very clearly here is how easy it is to work with in-between software. At the center, you see the actual publication loaded into the online environment. And in fact, you can add pages per drag and drop. And you can see the page layouts at the bottom. So you can prepare those page layouts. On the right-hand side, you got your products. You can drag and drop products onto the pages. And this is all done in real time with fresh data from your data source without any need of copy and paste and so on.
No coding, right?
There is no coding involved. There is no coding involved anywhere in between. Everything is done in a visual environment. And you can predefine your product layouts, your page layouts, and that really makes sure your corporate design is being used in all parts of your company. So everybody involved in the creation process can access the platform. It's very easy to use as part of teams and across departments, and you can even connect external parties, maybe some external agency, onto this platform. You can produce all kinds of publications in multiple languages, and you can produce a whole number of formats, so you can produce flipbooks, those interactive catalogs online for your e-commerce platform. You can produce Office files, you can produce Adobe Illustrator, and so on. So this is really a great user interface. The general advantages really lie in efficient workflows, collaboration in teams, template-based work, and ensuring a consistent corporate design. In my view, anything is possible with InBetween in terms of print publishing. The flexibility of the solution really allows different levels of automation, from fully automated production directly to PDF to highly automated production as InDesign files, which we can deliver to the media designers. Or we can even work more creatively, more detailed, right in InDesign, using the InDesign plugin, where you have access to products. You drag and drop them on pages, so it's the same kind of work, but it's inside of InDesign. So, and the whole thing is rounded off by the collaborative online platform, which you've just seen, for teams, which offers full transparency of all the publications and publication workflows. So in my view, InBetween really is an excellent solution for both manufacturers and retailers.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Thomas and Peter, for your insights. This was our panel discussion today. I hope you have learned a little bit about automation, about Somfy, about InBetween.
You can use this QR code, just take a photo of that, and it'll connect you directly to my calendar, so you can book an appointment with me, and we do some quick and free analysis of your status quo. So we look at your situation, your requirements, and I can give you some recommendation how we can work for you.
Thank you very much, everyone. It was a great webinar, and I hope that everybody learned a little bit of something today. And we'll see each other again soon. And have a great day, and goodbye for now.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.